Hello, and welcome to the Final Wager. I'm Keith Williams. Today I'm going to be talking about the event we've all been waiting for, the 2022 Tournament of Champions Quarterfinals. 6 of them. I was thinking of making a different video for each day. I had good intentions on that, and then the timing just didn't work out. But I think for the rest of the tournament, you can expect me to come out with a new video every day, including after tonight's exhibition, which I'm very much looking forward to, especially since it falls on the 2nd anniversary of Alex Trebek's passing. But what can we say? So far, this tournament has not disappointed. Some great play, some very difficult material. I've been struggling pretty badly. And some generally good wagers, a few bad ones, as we'll get to. I'm going to talk about 4 of the games, because there have been 2 runaways so far, including yesterday's. Very excited to see Sam Buttrey move on to the semifinals. And I'm interested to see how they pair people up. I have no idea. My pick was Jaskarin. It's a little disappointed to see him bow out early. A very tough competition. And big props to Eric for pulling the Roger Craig and the true daily doubles back to back. Love to see it. All right, let's start with Monday's game. The first quarterfinal, we've got Ryan Long, 4,200. Megan, 9,600. Maureen, 8,400. Interesting because Ryan has exactly half of Maureen's score. It's not going to play into it too much. Let's start with Maureen doubling up. She's going to have 16,800. I'm going to skip some of the calculations, some of the writing them down, just doing them in my head just to save a little time. And of course, that explanation is wasting more time than was absolutely necessary. So Megan, we want to see with 7,201. If she's wrong, she'll be left with 2,400, sorry. So if Ryan wants to stay above that, 1,800. I'm not going to be too concerned about Maureen staying above that because she's going to want to stay above Ryan, but she's also going to want to stay above this wager. She put him at 6,000. And that means she can wager up to 2,400 to stay above him if he goes small. And Ryan probably wants to just consider going all in case Maureen decides to get fancy like that. He did actually do that, which I like. The other thing that Maureen wants to do is she wants to cover not only a 0 wager by Megan, which would be 1,201, but also if Megan starts to get a little fancy and stays above both Maureen's current score and Ryan's doubled score, she'd wager 1,200, multiply that by 2, 1,199. Maureen really wants to wager exactly 2,400 or 2,399, depending on how fancy people are going to get. Why am I saying fancy so much? I don't know. Maybe because I'm wearing tweed? Who knows? In the end, I like Megan and Ryan's wagers. I don't like Maureen's so much. I don't think there's a good rationale for that. But hey, it worked out. Okay, on to Tuesday's game. We've got Jonathan in the lead with 19,800. Andrew with 13,800. Christine, not going to play a factor here, 2,200. I watched this. I host a trivia night monthly, or now it's going to be every 2 weeks, and a bunch of J alums come out, and I watched this episode with them before trivia night, and I had some thoughts on the wagering in advance, and they turned out to be the right ones. Andrew doubles up. He's going to have 27,600, so to stay above that, or to beat that, Jonathan's going to want to wager 7,801. And if he's wrong, he's going to be left with, 11,999. So Andrew, to stay above that, will want to wager no more than 1,800. Now, this is a literature category, and Andrew is a software engineer. And I've seen this scenario before. I personally would have wagered small here as Andrew, not being very comfortable with that category. And if Jonathan wants, he can wager something smallish. So if you add 1,800 here, you're going to get 15,600. He can wager up to is that going to be 4,200? So let's say 4,199. I would wager that amount probably exactly, just in case Andrew decides to wager 6,001 to try to cover the zero wager or something suboptimal like 8,000, or I guess it didn't matter. They both missed, and Andrew wagered small. Jonathan went big. Hey, you got to play to win the game sometimes, and kudos to Jonathan for doing that. Now on to Wednesday's game, and one of my favorite scenarios. Well, is it my favorite scenario? One of my favorites? I think it's actually one of my least favorite, because if both players who are tied for the lead, in this case Tyler Margaret, wager everything and miss, then the third place player, in this case Brian, really benefits in a situation where if Tyler was winning by 200 or Margaret was winning by 200, he probably wouldn't have that opportunity. So sometimes someone who has a bad game like Brian did here can benefit from this situation. I think he was really hoping that he would. In fact, he told me that he was hoping that both his opponents would go all in and miss. But in this case, you really have two options. As the leaders, you want to wager everything or nothing. I could go back and look into whether there's an argument for wagering just a lockout third place. So in this case, it'd be like $89.99. I don't think there is. In any case, there's really no justification for Margaret to wager 7,000 here. I don't think it's not optimal in any sense, but she's a lot of fun to watch. I really enjoy regular Virginia, and but I talk about wagering here, and that was not a good wager. And the final episode I have the privilege of speaking about today. Well, it's not really a privilege because anyone can do it. Anyone can put a video online and write numbers on an iPad or on a whiteboard or whatever. Don't copy me, please. Eric, off the strength of his back-to-back true daily doubles, 26,000. A lot of times you'd think that kind of wagering would put the game out of reach, but that wasn't the case here. Jackie, very game here, 19-6, just very impressive at the bottom of the board. Definitely rooting for all three players here. And just Karan with 11,000, still in contention. As Ken said, very strong third place score. So Jackie doubles up to 39-2. So that's going to be 13-2-0-1 out of Eric. And then if he misses that, he's going to have, is that 12,799? So Jaskaran's got to go all in. I mean, I get the kind of small, cute wager, but you're not playing for second place money, so it's not really consideration, so you might as well just go for it. Just in case Jackie miswagers or something like that. To stay above that, Jackie has to wager, what is that going to be, 12-8? That's what happens when you give me too much math at one time. So 6,800 or 6,799. And against a double up, she's going to have to wager at least, what is that going to be, 2,400? But to cover a zero wager, the difference between them is 6,400. So I would go between 6,401 and 6,799, 6,800. There could be some mind games here, but I wouldn't consider them too strongly. Eric really wants to lock both of them out. I guess he could wager down to 39.99, but I'd put it way down on his list of considerations. Been crushing it all game. Dude, might as well go for it. And he did, and he advanced to the semifinals. So as I said earlier, generally good wagering. A few that I think some players wish they could have back. A few that didn't make a difference. Love to see the big daily double wagers. I think we're going to see more in the next 4 plus however many days the finals go. And man, there's not a player in the semifinals who couldn't take down the whole thing. Let's just put it that way. Very impressive play across the board. And, yeah, I can't wait to see how this shakes out. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to a few more episodes this week and then really digging in next week during the finals. So get ready. We'll see you soon right here on The Final Wager.